The world. We are live for the 111th episode of Marketing as a Foreign Language. Big story today: Twitter blocking Trump's tweets. Hello and welcome. Blocking Trump's claims that he won comes as a surprise to absolutely no one. Will be covering that. Facebook and Instagram votes being counted. So what do Facebook and Instagram have to do with the next president of the United States? Occupy Democrats lost a bunch of traffic. Facebook says it was a mistake. Multiple tweets have been blocked. Again, not surprising that we're seeing that. And Facebook staff is not happy with Facebook. We're going to dive into that and more. Welcome to Marketing as a Foreign Language. All right, so blocking Trump's claims that he won after a night in which President Donald Trump, according to TheVerge.com, falsely claimed victory. I saw that speech. Not surprising to anyone that, to me, it's like two boxers at the end of a match that both put their hands up and say, I won, I'm the winner, hooray. Trump more brazenly than Biden claimed victory in the presidential election. Facebook has added a notification at the top of Facebook and Instagram feeds saying there was as yet no winner. Google's on the same page. Everybody's on the same page. We all know that this election is far from over. I'm hoping that on Friday we will have a better picture, but there are a number of states that are simply too close to call. Back to the article earlier in the night, both Twitter and Facebook chose to label a message identical on both platforms from Trump reading, quote, "We are up big, but they are trying to steal the election. We will never let them do it. Votes cannot be cast after the polls are closed." Twitter also placed sharing restrictions on the tweet. This back and forth between the government and private entities is no longer shocking. It is no longer surprising. It is just sort of normal. It's completely normalized, this back and forth. Early returns were promising for the president, according to the article, but a number of pivotal states are still counting votes. Early in the night, it seemed clear to me that Trump was the winner. This morning, things look much different. So including Georgia, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, the work does not involve additional votes being cast, but instead deals with the unprecedented surge of mail-in ballots that have been officially cast but not yet counted. We all know this. And so now we are simply waiting. My gut is telling me Friday we're going to have more information. But all of us wish that it was today, and I simply don't think we are going to be receiving any legitimate information today. From TechCrunch.com, Facebook and Instagram votes being counted. Facebook and Instagram are running notifications in their respective apps informing U.S. users that the winner of the 2020 U.S. presidential election has not yet been determined. In large pop-ups appearing at the top of Facebook and Instagram news feeds, the notification states that votes are being counted and directs users to other in-app election resources. Both apps are using the same language. The winner has not been projected yet. So, nobody's surprised by this. If you're Facebook and Twitter, there has been an argument over the last few months that there appears to be a left-leaning bias to these platforms. Again, I think it would be really interesting to see a social media platform being accused of doing the same thing on the right. There just simply isn't one. So there isn't sort of a potato situation with Facebook and Instagram. That being said, I don't think they're going way out on a limb by suggesting that we wait. To me, again, both candidates are saying things that are positive about their outcome. And why wouldn't they? It's very normal for presidential candidates to, at the end of the vote numbers coming in to say, we feel optimistic, we feel good. Trump's just, using Trump language like he always does. Occupy Democrats lost a bunch of traffic. This is interesting from BuzzFeedNews.com. Beginning in early October, the page Occupy Democrats, the other 98%, and Being Liberal, which collectively have more than 18.5 million followers, experienced significant declines in their reach, a measurement of how many people see a page's content on the platform. This meant their content received fewer shares, reactions, and comments. This is John Sellers, a quote from him. It's incredibly demoralizing especially given the cataclysmic state of America, to know that memes our team is making are being unfairly spiked in the Facebook algorithms. John Sellers runs the other 98%, and he told BuzzFeed News. Sellers and Wojciech Wachowski, the owner of Being Liberal, said Facebook representatives told them the company had mistakenly applied old false news strikes against their pages. Strikes are applied when a third-party fact-checker rates content shared by a page as false and can result in a significant reduction in reach. So you want to talk about power. There's literally a fact-checker somewhere. They call it a third-party fact-checker who's deciding that, oh, you know what, this particular page had what they would refer to as false news. And all of a sudden, their reach on Facebook is a tenth of what it used to be. Both page admins said their audiences have not fully recovered, though Facebook claimed the issues have been resolved. Well, it's not surprising to me that once you get a major hit like this, trying to bounce back is tough because people have forgotten about you. They're less likely to click on your stuff because you just disappeared for a while. So there is really untold damage to issues like this. So it's not fair that this would happen. I wonder how often this happens and it simply goes unnoticed or unseen. And it's a problem. It's a huge problem. If you're a business, it could decimate your business. People could lose jobs because sales go down in companies. Elections can be moved. I think you would be hard pressed to make the leap that Trump or Biden will win or lose based on these particular sites losing reach on Facebook. That's a bit of a stretch, but it's possible. When we're looking at some of these numbers, I want to say Georgia, Michigan, Wisconsin, I mean, 30,000, 50,000, 100,000 votes can be the difference. What an incredibly close race. I had to go to bed early last night because I just thought there's no way we're going to get real numbers, and we haven't yet. And by real numbers, I mean definitive numbers. Multiple tweets blocked. This from Reuters.com. Twitter marked Trump's latest tweet in which he said surprise ballot dumps were aiding rival Joe Biden as having content that was disputed and might be misleading about an election or other civic process. In every U.S. presidential election, again, from Reuters, officials normally take several days to process provisional and mail-in ballots. The counting of additional ballots is no surprise, and neither is the swing to Biden. On the left, a lot of folks were expecting this. I think the strategy on the right was to try to call the race early, but we don't know. We simply don't know at this point. It just seems like it's going to be incredibly close. So, which was widely predicted and discussed extensively. Facebook, Inc., and Twitter have flagged multiple posts from the president as votes were still being counted in a real-time test of their rules on handling misinformation. That has got to be not a fun job if you're at Twitter and you have to real-time basically block the president's tweets. What a weird time we live in. Facebook staff not happy with Facebook. Final story of the day. As reported by BuzzFeed News, a semi-annual Pulse survey, we took this from social media today, taken by more than 49,000 employees over 2 weeks in October, showed workers felt strained by office shutdowns and were continuing to lose faith that the company was improving the world. That just cracks me up. I think all of these companies, when they first start, are very optimistic. We're going to change the world. This is going to be great. I've been a business owner for 5 years now. And, when you start, it's very, we're going to do things differently. It's going to be awesome. But the reality, of running a business is often at odds with the hope, of what it could be in the early days. I'm very proud of Send It Rising and the work that we have achieved. But that being said, it's a job. It's work, There's just no avoiding that. And so I think as Facebook gets older, this sort of pie in the sky idealism is tampered by the gravity of the reality we find ourselves in. So back to the article, only 51% of respondents said they believed that Facebook was having a positive impact on the world. Ooh, ouch. Down 23% percentage points from the company's last survey in May, and down 5.5 percentage points from the same period last year. Oof. I don't think Facebook's as bad as tobacco. Maybe that quote will come back to haunt me one day, where they'll have a brain scans of the effect of Facebook over time, and it'll be this horrifying sort of a drug. But it does feel virtual and psychological and perhaps you could say chemical within the brain, serotonin, dopamine, etc. That being said, you can put your phone down, okay? You can put the phone down. Well, Kellen, isn't that like putting the cigarette down? No. They're different. I really do think they're different. And if you're spending too much time on social media, you can do this. You can trim the amount of time you're doing that. So that's a significant drop back to the article. And while, as noted, this has been declining for some time, the numbers show that even those within Facebook with intimate knowledge of not only the decisions made, but why they've been implemented are now questioning the company's true motivation. Could it be profit? Is it possible that the motivation is profit? So we're live 10:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time every single Monday through Friday. If you want to ask us any questions live in the chat, you certainly can do so. We would love to hear from you. So to summarize, blocking Trump's claims that he won comes as a surprise to absolutely no one. Facebook and Instagram are continuing to tell folks that votes are being counted. This is clear to me. Occupy Democrats lost a significant portion of traffic, highlighting the fact that Facebook has an enormous amount of power. And, you could make the argument that if you are on the left, you could cry bias on this one, for sure. You could say, this is ridiculous. How dare they? It seems like they made a mistake, but, maybe there's some conservative third-party fact-checker guy who's like, this is ridiculous. And he hits the little button, and before you know it, millions of people don't see Occupy Democrats on their Facebook feed. Crazy times we live in. Multiple tweets being blocked. Again, unsurprising. And Facebook staff not happy with Facebook. The golden days of everyone loving Facebook for being this incredible, perfect social media platform, those days are gone. And now Mark has to, and by Mark I mean Mr. Zuckerberg, has to contend with the fact that those billions of dollars and all that profit they're making comes with a ridiculous amount of responsibility. So any thoughts or questions, leave us a comment in the comment section. We want to hear from you. If you want to email us directly, info@senditrising.com. That's info@senditrising.com. And, check us out on the podcast. We're on Spotify, iTunes. You want to enjoy marketing as a foreign language from your car, you have that option. Thank you for swinging on by. I'm looking forward to the next couple days to see how the election pans out. So we appreciate it. See you next time. Class dismissed.